Okay, the recording started. Okay, so hi everyone, welcome to Bangalore MuleSoft Meetup. Today's topic is MCP and its features and a good use case demo by Rajiv. So, safe harbor statement. So both speaker and host are organizing this meetup in individual capacity. We are not representing our companies, and this presentation is strictly for learning purpose. Uh, we do not hold any responsibility that same solution will work for your business requirement. This presentation is not meant for any promotional activities. Housekeeping. So we'll be sharing the recording of this meetup after the event within 24 hours. And let's make it more interactive. You can ask the questions in between or you can ask the questions in the chat. And after meetup, please let us know about the event. Give us feedbacks if you like it, if you want some new topic to be discussed on, or if you want to be the speaker at Bangalore, please let us know the organizers. So agenda for today, it's big. I'll ask Rajiv to take this again. So today we'll be going for MCP, the demos and the use cases by Rajiv. So organizers, myself, Nitish, Jyoti, Shyam, and Pranav. So I'll hand over this to Rajiv. You can take it from here. I'll unshare my screen.
Yeah, thank you, Nitish. Hello, everyone. Very good evening. So let me share my screen. Hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So today agenda mostly we are going to discuss about this MCP. Okay. And so not very theoretical. Okay, but we'll try to see like how this MCP we can use. Okay, why how we can create the MCP servers in the Mule, how we can create the MCP clients. Okay, how we can enable our cursor. So here I have taken the LLM client as a cursor. Okay, so how this can able to interact with our Mule MCP servers. Okay, along with that we can also deal with how we can able to use our agent force, okay, to interact with our MCP servers. Okay, and we will also see how we can able to like using the Slack MCP servers, okay, to like just send the notifications. Okay, so here as part of the LLM client I have used the two cursor and one is the open API. Okay, so both we are going to see how with the use cases, okay, how we can able to like achieve the certain things. Okay, so I'm just skipping my introductions. Okay, and coming to this our MCP one. Okay, so we all know like MCP is nowadays that I think everybody is like raising this what is the MCP. Okay, so in short terms, if I will say from the MuleSoft perspective, it is nothing but for uh, MuleSoft ecosystems. It is just like API gateway for a AI. Okay, so we all know like it is the open protocols that enables integrations between LLM applications and the external data services and tools. Okay, few functionality which we have highlighted, like it is the pre-built integrations. Okay, it is the open protocols, the standards which we follow, that is the purely like uniform and a standard. Okay, and the change flexibility means the different apps, okay, we can like integrate into the LLM client, okay, just to achieve. So here just I had tried to depict a very generic one. Okay, so this LLM client could be anything like cursor, Windsoft. Okay, and this is we can build our the MCP servers which is going to interact either with the Salesforce or the Slack or using the Git. Okay, now coming to our this MCP connectors. So from this Mule perspective, we have seen that we have the MCP connectors and we have the feasibility or this opportunity, like we can create our MCP client as well as the MCP servers. Okay, so mostly as part of the demo, we have used the tools listeners. So, okay, so this on new session listener and resource listener is not part of this scope of this demo. Okay, so we are only going to see how we can create different tools as a servers. Okay, and here we can how by using the client, okay, in the mule, by using the MCP client, how we can call these tools. Okay, so to add this MCP connectors, we have to use this dependency in our pom.xmls. Okay, and these are the few details about how this MCP client or MCP server is going to work. Okay, in this. So one thing which is most important we need to understand about it's the supports. Okay, which is basically suppose two types of this. One is the SSC, okay, and one is the estimable STTP. Okay, so as part of this demo we are going to use the estimable STTP. Okay, and we'll see like how this is going to, because for the SSC, okay, this is mostly happened for the fire and forget and push operations, but here we are doing the synchronous, so we have used the estimable STTP. Okay, so this is we call the connection types. Okay, so if you see this connection types, okay, we have the SSC client, so that is basically for the client side. Okay, so when mule needs to subscribe to another MCP or LLM agent force, okay, in that case we are going to use the SSC client. Okay, so suppose when the chat streaming we are using, okay, or some things like the long running job, so there we can use our the SSC client. Okay, similar way we can use for the SSC one server for the push update. Okay, so where like when the mule pushes like the some events, okay, where the long lived connection is required, and that case we can go for the SSC connection type. So this is not part of the, although I have highlighted here, so we are only mm, mainly going to focus on the estimable STTP. Okay, so whenever we have to deal with the JSON objects, okay, and we have to use like the synchronous communications. Okay, so in that case we should go for the estimable STTP. Okay, now to simulate all this demo, okay, and what I have used the Salesforce, okay, where I am creating the case. Okay, and MuleSoft has been exposed as a MCP server or MCP client. Okay, and I am using the cursors, okay, as a LLM clients to interact with our the MCP servers. Okay, so what kind of how we can able to configure our cursors, okay, that we can able to see. Okay, so maybe we have seen that. Okay, maybe we have seen that like in the cursor we will see all these things. Okay, in cursor what happened, we have the one mcp.jsons, okay, all the cursor configuration files. Okay, so this is the format where basically we can keep our MCP servers. So MuleSoft platform is also providing the default MCP servers. Okay, so this way we can able to integrate. Okay, so that is required your like the connected apps here. Okay, through that connected app we can be able to connect with our MuleSoft platforms one, that is our this any point platforms. Okay, this Brilio MCP, which means I have used, so few MCP server I have deployed here. Okay, that is the API. Okay, and for the Slack also I have used it. Okay, so just I have presented this here, this is a structure, because there are few of the this credential which I have used directly. I haven't used the encrypted one, so it will not good to expose here, so that's why I put this uh, orchestrations here, so how we can able to configure it. Okay, so directly let's jump to the demo. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to stop me or put into chat. Okay, so once I'm going to give this demo, we can be able to like get more clarity over that. Okay, so first of all I'm going to present my MCP server how I have created. Okay, so this is nothing but just we our the normal mule API. Okay, and what we have to do, we have to use our MCP connectors. Okay, so if you see, this MCP connector has two parts, one is the client and one is the server. Okay, so mostly as part of this demo I have used only the MCP server tools listener. Okay, so suppose the use case around this, how to create the case, how to fetch the case against the case number or case id, okay, how to update the case status, okay, from new to working, okay. So these are the only the basic things I have taken, okay. So if you see, this is nothing different from what our the API we used to create, okay, by using the HTTP. Okay, it is look like the similar to everything. Okay, only things, this the source part has been replaced with the MCP server tools listeners. Okay, so let's see what all this configuration is required to do here. Okay, so first of all, we need to provide a name. That is nothing but our tool name, and that is going to appear whenever we are going to configure it to any LLM client or anywhere. Okay. So suppose I have given the fetch case details. Okay. And here the just descriptions. Okay. And these are the parameter schema. Okay. So this is the generic one, very generic I have given. Okay. I will show you like how we can able to customize more. Okay, and this is the in which format you are looking for the response. So I have just given payload.raw, like whatever is coming from the backend. Okay, that is the fine. Rest is your like every like whatever we used to do in our normal API. So I'm just put the direct query to fetching the entire case details from the Salesforce. That's it here. So this is the very generic one. Okay, let's see this configurations, what is required for this MCP configurations. Okay, so if you see here, once you are going to configure the MCP servers, the connection type is asking the two type, whatever we have discussed. One is the estimable HTTP, one is the SSE server. Okay, how we are going to identify? Okay, because once we are going to select the estimable HTTP server, if you see the MCP endpoint by default, this is coming as MCP. Okay, which internally using one HTTP listener. Okay, and response content type, you have the two things, one is the JSON, one is the SSC. So here I'm using the JSON. Here we have the privilege, like we can put some of the like default response headers. Okay, so that is the not the mandatory optionals. Okay, these are the mandatory. We need to give one of the server name. So this is any name we can able to give, and server version. See, as soon as if you are suppose you are going to make this changes SSC, the SSC endpoint is going to with the SSC, and messaging path will be going to as a message, and it also using internally as a listener configuration. So inside this internal architectures, if you see, by using this endpoint, okay, it is going to identify whether it is the SSC connection type or it is the estimable HTTP. Okay, so this MCP indicate estimable, SSC indicate your the uh, SSC based connection type. Okay, that's it I have used here. Okay, this MCP server and this Salesforce or email, this is my like normal configuration, nothing else. Okay, coming to this MCP servers. Okay, what I have done, I have created one, suppose the create case flow, creating the case flow. Okay, so this will give more. So I have give the create case records. Okay, if you wanted to see this schema, okay, because you need to identify this, give this schema in which format it is going to like welcome your request. Okay, so this is just the normal schema where I have asked, okay, like this is the type is object, you are supposed to give the subject, description, origin, status, priority, account ID, and contact name. So it is up to you, like you can ask the account name as well, the contact name as well. Okay, whatever. Out of this, which one is required, optional, which is required. Okay, so if you are required those fields, you are good to put inside this required. Okay, if you are not going to put in that, so that field is not going to validate, mark as a optional. Okay, so in this way we can define our this input schema here. Okay, response I have here mark as a payload.raw. Okay, so similar way I have created, like suppose MCP server fetch case by status. Okay, update case status, fetch case by status. So these all I have already configured. Okay, and what I did, I deployed these things into, one second, I need to log in it. Okay, so okay, so this I have already deployed into this any point platforms, okay, which is up and running. Okay, so this is my MCP server, okay, which is deployed, up and running. Okay, so it's already there. Okay, so let me show, like suppose if I'm going to here, okay, and let me take one recent case. Okay, like let me see this. It is, let me take this. Okay, so this is the suppose case ID. Okay, and what I have done, if you see this cursor dot setting, so how you are going to go to it into the cursor. If you go preference, and here you can see the cursor dot setting. Okay, and here you can see the option of the MCP. Okay, so if you see, like I have added different like for the LinkedIn as well, Gmail as well, Slack as well. Okay, so once you are going to in this format, whatever I have shown into this presentations. Okay, so in that format, if you are going to add into this configuration files, okay, so it is going to give you that. But where you will get this configuration file? So as soon as you are going to click this new MCP server, it is going to give you the mcp.json. Okay, let me enable this Slack one, Brilio MCP. So that is the user defined name, you can put any names here. Okay, and this is the MuleSoft platforms, which is provided by MuleSoft one. Okay, so if you see here, it has the enables and it is giving me 8 tools, which means that 8 operations, or you can say the 8 APIs, okay, are available to connect. So one is the fetch case details, create case details. So this is going to give the list of this all tools. Similar way, if you see this Slack is getting loaded, MuleSoft platform is also getting loaded. So similar way, it is going to show the all the details. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you see here, Slack has also, if you see, Slack has also this tools. Okay, so all the tools which are configured for this Slack as a MCP server, it's showing here. Okay, similar way, if you see this MuleSoft platforms, so there are a lot many MuleSoft platform, like you can create the Mule project. Okay, generate the Mule project. Okay, you can like get the all the deployed into the sandbox. Okay, so like monitoring, deployment, CI/CD, all these kind of things you can able to perform from here. Okay, so let me show you how we can able to do. Okay, so first of all, when we are going to hear this new chat, we need to ensure that we add this context. Okay, because this is my MCP context and we are going to communicate, or like the like ask LLM to act using this MCP JSON. Okay, so suppose I am giving you fetch a case record where case ID is this. Okay, so see how it is going to identify which one. So if you see here, calling fetch case details by case ID. So if you see here, it is calling the fetch case details by case ID. So automatically out of this all context, okay, it is going to fetch. Okay, so seems like using this case ID doesn't record, doesn't find here. Okay, so it took the different route. Okay, so it's fetch the case details. Okay, so it fetched this case details. Okay, so through this route, like suppose this route is failed, it took the another route. Okay, intelligently to fetch this. Okay, but let me ask again, because sometimes happens is, but let me ask. So fetch case details by case ID. So it's called, if you see here, so it's fetch again. Okay, so sometimes happens like because of some memory issue, it takes the huge memory while running locally. Okay, so it's called here, if you see, so this is the parameter. So automatically the input I have given, which is the prompt, which is into the NLP, like the natural language. Okay, this processing is happening. It is going to convert whatever we have like defined into the schemas. Okay, so here you can see it is sending the input schema as a case ID, and this is the result which we are getting from that. Okay, so this, okay, suppose if I'm saying that, okay, uh, can you, okay, send notification to Slack channel. Okay, so I have already used one of the Slack. Okay, so here this teams, like suppose I have using one channel for the case notification, so already that I have configured, okay, into my mcp.json. Okay, so if you see, this is, if I'm asking, can you send notification to Slack channels. Okay, so see, of above case details. So see how this is going to redirect it. So it is called Slack list channels. Okay, it is asking me. Okay, so let me ask the run. Okay, so perfect, I can see it is run. Because so when I check this, okay, so it's fetch all the available channels into the Slack, but okay, but while posting it's figure it out only the channel ID this. Okay, if you go to the Slack here, you can see here the case notifications. This is the time of 8:26. It has come. Okay, so like suppose there are teams are there, the analyst teams are there. Okay, and some the high priority new case is coming, so you can able to notify as well there. So it's sending this case notifications. Coming to one more things, like suppose, okay, make sure like whenever we are dealing this MCP JSON context must be there. Okay, let me go to here again, take this. Okay, I'm again performing this, and if you see sometimes it's like the, because of the memory limitation, it has the also this capability, it store the informations like the context or the metadata informations. Okay, can you create a email? Okay, can you create a email with details of above case? Can you create an email with above case details? Okay, although this is spelling mistake, okay, but it is taking. So see, so it's creating an email. So if you see, I haven't given any things. Okay, I haven't given any things like to send these emails, okay, or to create this email, because this LLM has this capability. It has drafted this email, and because my send email is already there, okay, so it's saying email successfully created and sent. Okay, so let me see whether email has arrived or not. No, so no email has been arrived. Okay, so let me send this again. Okay, is, okay, send up. created email to, because here although it is mentioning like it is two. Okay, sorry, so I was checking into the wrong email. Let me check this. So in this email it is already sending these details. Okay, see, so this is my cursor account. Okay, so by default it picked this email ID, okay, which the cursor is registered. Okay, but if I'll send above create above drafted email to this, suppose if I'm giving this way, okay, add this context MCP, it is sending this as well. Okay, sorry, sent, I have sent. Let me see. Okay, so here if you say it is identify the subject is, it is automatically it's like choosing the subject. Okay, here the two has been changed and it is the body. Okay, and if you see the another, okay, see, it is the no reply case. Okay, so it also send here. Okay, so this is also coming here. So like we have seen here like how we can able to like connect this MCP server, and each and every things if you see here, that is going to happening behind the scenes. If you see here, this log is getting presented here. Okay, so this MCP server which has been deployed, that is getting invoked. So here see the email one is there. So email one, that is I have created this MCP server. Okay, and it is going to connect and it is sending this. Okay, so this is the first part where I have shown like the how MCP server is there. Okay, how this MCP server is interacted with this LLM cursors. Okay, and how the lot many operations we can able to performs with this. Okay, so if you have any things, feel free to like pitch in. Otherwise, I can move into this MCP client one.
Rajit, there are two, three questions which you can take from the chat.
Okay, so let me open this chat. Yeah. So join the chapter. No. Okay. So this is the Srishti Sahuwala. Could you please explain SSC response content type? So this SSC response content type also can be happen like the JSON, text plain, or YAML. Okay, that is also possible with that. But for the estimable, it is restricted with the JSON. Okay, so for that in the next I'm also started working on that, the SSC part. Okay, soon I'm going to present that as well, but that is also possible. We can use the JSON or plain there, or the YAML part also. Okay, every time the MCP connector fetches the details from Salesforce flows, or it caches the response for some time and returns. Okay, so if you are using any AI tools like Cursor, okay, so it stores some context informations. Okay, not every times it is going to fetch it. Okay, so sometimes it is going to like store this data like metadata or context informations. Okay, but that is not the case when you have the like the large memory. Okay, and so basically the working should be every time whenever you are going to like query some things, okay, to fetch the latest, it is better we should check it called the MCP server. Because otherwise, like suppose if some like data update or something happened into your like the Salesforce, and that MCP server is not going to fetch, or rather than your LLM client AI tool is going to, so that may lead the inconsistency. Okay, so here the case ideally every time it is fetching from the MCP server for each and every. Okay, where can we put guardrails like do not send the email without confirmations from the users? Okay, so in that case, maybe I haven't explored, but I think while we are designing your MCP servers, okay, so there only, okay, like suppose what we can say here, let me show you. Like suppose this MCP server I have created, okay, so maybe here we can able to check it, okay, although it is going to pass these things, okay, like the schema is going to pass, okay, but we can add additional like schema like the user approval or some things, okay, through which we can able to control. So while we are going to create this MCP server, we can keep entire business logic, orchestrations or choreography, how we are wanted to do this, okay, as well as this authentications like your security, each and everything we can able to implement in your like MCP server where we are putting this business logic. Okay, because if you see here what happens, like I just said, okay, can you send this, can you create an email with above case details, so by default it pick my this. Okay, so maybe this way we can able to restrict here like along with this if suppose the user confirmation yes or agree, something like the flag, if it is not coming we should not able to send it. So these kind of things. Okay, let me see here the another, okay, like suppose if I send the emails, okay, and suppose this person, this team are not aware about I have sent the emails, okay, so let me see, update Slack reply as email has been sent with above email details. Update Slack Slack post reply with above. So I'm asking, okay, okay, I have sent this email, just update it. So see, it has already holding some context informations. Okay, let me see whether it is able to send it or not. So see, although I have said, okay, send this email informations, after this email information, I did the Slack one previously, okay, but I am asking, okay, okay, can you just send update on the same thread as a reply where you have sent this email, okay. So if you go here, this was my previous one, because it is holding this information, some context information on this, and through which it has already updated. So here see, it is updating email notification sent. Okay, case details have been successfully sent via email to this. This is the email, and it also marking that email delivery confirmed. So this is holding few informations, the context informations. Okay, what is the how is MCP server exported to cursor? Okay, how MCP server? Yes, I can show you, but okay, let me show you. See, I will not show the entire things. See, so what happens, like whenever this is the cursor settings, okay, whenever you are going to create clicking this new MCP server, by default it is going to open this mcp.jsons, okay, and there you are going to put your these things. Okay, so suppose the mule API which I have deployed here, okay, you are supposed to give the URL of your MCP, this what you can say, this your API which you have deployed here. Okay, just you need to give this API here. Okay, and make sure you are going to give in this format. Okay, yeah, here if you see, if I'm using SSC, so if you have noticed, at the end point which is available in your cloud hub, at the end you are supposed to put their MCP. Okay, and you are supposed to, because I have used the this client ID. Okay, so as part of the header you are supposed to send this client ID and client secret through which it is going to access. So this kind of the configuration you are supposed to do into your mcp.json. Okay, similar way for the Slack one, you are supposed to give the Slack bot token. Whenever you are going to create the account on the Slack, you are going to get a token along with this Slack team ID. Team ID nothing but your channel ID. So that you are supposed to give it. Okay. Okay, similar to, like, suppose, let me preferences, cursor setting. Okay, so go to the MCP, and this is the MCP platforms. Okay, so let's see few example of this MCP platforms. Okay, or in new chat, no, use this context. Okay, fetch all deployed, okay, app in sandbox. Okay, so see how it is going to fetch all deploy app into the sandbox. So it's calling the, let me run it. Okay, so see it's taking the environment sandbox. Okay, false. Okay, I run it. So it's calling the list of applications. So that is the example of the MuleSoft. Okay, run it. I'm allowing it. So if you see here, like, it's fetching all the deployed applications. Okay, through the sandbox. Okay, so let me stop here. Okay, so whatever all the application, okay, it is fetching. Okay, let me see here, fetch all details of app applied in sandbox. Okay, so I have given, okay, this is my Mule MCP server POC. Okay, to fetch this all details which are available. So see how it is going to fetch. And so here it is giving, see, this is the application ID, application name, status, target, deployment status, CPU performance matrix. Okay, how is this memory utilizations. Okay, no memory leaks detected, heap utilization, stable memory patterns. So everything it's giving. So overall health assessment, healthy, isn't it? Like, earlier we are supposed to go and check the dashboard, check the throughput. It's also going to give the entire throughputs or all these details. It's all depends on how efficiently you are writing this prompt. Okay, giving your LLM. Okay, and how you have built your, like, MCP server to get all these details. Okay, here you can say you can create the API instance, you can apply the policy as well. Okay, so everything you can be able to achieve. Okay, in fact, because of the time constant here, we it is also privileged that I have done as part of this. You can create your API, or suppose your API has been deployed. Okay, no need to use the CI/CD pipeline. You can just give the command. It is going to deploy your code into that. So that kind of the flexibility also there. Here, see, deployed Mule applications. So you are just give this, like, what is the sandbox. Okay, and there it is going to deploy it. Okay, I think I cover all questions, right, Nitish? Any left? What is the validity of the cursor trial account? I think not the validity. It depends on the how many tokens you are going to use. So the licensing of this LLM clients are on the basis of the tokens. Okay, but I am using the paid versions. Okay, so I have the unlimited token. Okay, but if you are using the trial one, it is going to on the basis of the token. Okay, how much token you are going to generate. Okay, so each, like whether you are going to use the Windsurf, OpenAPI or Cursor, these are all are on the like token based. Okay, could you please explain args in the MCP JSON file into the cursor? Okay, so let me show here. Okay, so hope you will know this command or this npx. Okay, that is the how the MCPC for the MuleSoft platform one that I haven't built. Okay, that was built by the MuleSoft. I have just imported it. Okay, and I have used my connected app to use. Okay, so these are just like, suppose think from that perspective. It is not necessary each MCP server has been built into the Mule. Okay, someone has built using the Java, someone has built into the MCP like the Pythons. Okay, and how someone has been used the Node.js something. Okay, how you are going to start your MCP server. Okay, so suppose if I'm telling like, suppose it has been built as a Pythons. Okay, or maybe you have used the CMD or some Unix shell script. So what command you are going to provide to start your MCP server? Okay, so this is going to give, okay, like use this npx command. Okay, and this has been like the at the MuleSoft MCP server and just start it. Okay, if you see this difference here, my app is already started, API is already started, so I'm just giving this URL. Okay, for this Slack, I'm starting through the npx command, like this is the server Slack, just start this. Okay, so different. If I will see my LinkedIn, let me see. So how you have built, so think from that perspective. uh, this is my LinkedIn. Okay, so if you see here. Okay, so what I am using one of the proxy of this LinkedIn API. So there I am not passing any command. If you see here, I'm not at all passing any command. See, for the LinkedIn. Okay, I'm just passing this URL. See, no command. Okay, just I'm passing this MCP. Let me copy these two things to show you. See, I'm not passing anything. Okay, so there are a few whether they have created this MCP server. I'm just using it. So Composio is a like partners. They have created this MCP server for the LinkedIn. You have to just use it. Okay, so it's depend, like suppose like you have created the expose, like for the email one. Okay, the best example is the email one. I think I have the option to better to use the Gmail one. Okay, but what I did, I haven't used the Gmail provided MCP. I created the same into the Mule. Okay, and I'm using to send it to Mule. And this, if you see, I'm using the Gmail SMTP only. Okay, so this way, like how you are building your MCP server, it's totally depend on it. So I hope I
You can take
could you please.
this last question, then we can continue.
Yeah, did you create all those MCP listener in MCP server for the for MCP? Yeah, I have created, except the MuleSoft provided platforms. Each one I have created into the Mule. Okay, by using this MCP tools. This is Bharat. Do we need any permission to use MuleSoft MCP server to use it? Capability through connected app. No, you have to just use the connected app and you are good to use it. No any additional permission is required. Okay. So let's quickly move. So this is the first part. I think the cursor one can. Okay. Now coming to the MuleSoft MCP, how we can create the MCP client into the Mule, okay, and same through the Mule itself we can able to expose call our MCP server. So think from that perspective, someone has already built your MCP, okay, and they are saying that into this MCP world era, okay, use my MCP server, okay. So it has the capability, okay. So this is, if you see, it is similar to look like our MCP, our traditional API, okay. So what I did, okay, if you see here, I have used this is for the MCP connection is required, okay. For so here see the client is just I have used to calling the tools, and these tools is nothing but MCP server tools, okay. Along with that, I have also using the MuleSoft AI chains, okay, few. Think from that perspective, suppose I have created a case, a customer raise a case, okay, and as per the case is going to registered using your like the knowledge base or your LLM client, you can also able to get the resolutions of potential resolution, okay, in which way we should able to proceed, okay. So the this things is fair enough, like just our the normal one, okay. I will show you how we can able to create this, okay. So suppose this we need to give this connector informations, okay, for the MCP client, okay. What all informations we are supposed to give here, let me quickly show. Okay, so we are need to give the MCP URL, server URL. So in that case, nothing but my deployed version of the API which is deployed, okay. And here I have used the streamable HTTP, and because it is the streamable, this is the with the MCP, okay. If you see here, this is the authentications, my MCP username and password, that is nothing but my client ID and client secret, that's it, okay. So I'm using the basic authentications, that's it, okay. This is for the MuleSoft API chain, okay, AI chain I am using. So here I have used the LLM type for the OpenAI to whenever a case is going to create, okay, it is connect with the OpenAI, and against that case, okay, it is going to give us the potential resolutions or next workaround for that, okay, whenever a new case is going to create. So these are the few configurations we are supposed to do here, okay. And this OpenAI, once you are going to through the client version, you are going to connect with the any LLM, it is not going to work on your this trial version, it required the paid versions, okay. So maybe if you are trying to your the trial version, it not going to work, okay. So that's it, that I have, and here I have given this configuration where some credential informations are there, okay. So in this way we are supposed to give, I'm using the smallest model, okay. Here GPT-4, meaning there are lots of the models, okay. Each model had its own token based, okay. If you see here, this is the max token, this is the important, you are supposed to, I'm not going to I'm not going to exceed the response or the request more than this 500, okay, because this is going to charge on the basis of the token, okay. I will show you how it is going to happen. Let me, if it is anyway it is going to happen, see, this is the OpenAI platforms, okay. So if you see, that is the also the pay as you go, okay. If you see here the billing in my account, as of now this $4.49 is there, okay. And if you see the usage, so here see it is the total token, okay. So for each request, okay, how efficient you are writing the your prompt, okay, that is totally going to depend on the tokens, okay. If your prompt is not efficient, it is going to generate the more and more tokens, so that is going to, so their billing usage or their billing criteria is on the token based, okay. So that's it. So here into this Mule MCP client, and if you see here, I'm fetching the case details, and through this case details, I'm getting this. Okay, okay, just give me what I'm doing. I'm connecting to MuleSoft AI chain. I'm connecting to OpenAI, and what instruction I'm saying. Okay, you are an AI agent. Okay, summarize case details along all fields of the case record, suggest next action towards resolution of this case. Okay, so this instruction is like how you are going to use your AI agent against this like a use case or business use case. Okay, this instruction you are supposed to give here. Okay, so similar way I have done this fetch case details, update case details. Okay, fetch case details by case id, create case records. Okay, these I have created. Similar way I'm this connecting with the MCP client. Okay, and what I did, I deployed this as well here. This is the MCP server. Similar way I have done it to the MCP client here. Okay, so this is the client. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit my MCP client to the postman. Okay, so let me use, like suppose here it a fetch case details. Okay, so if you see here, suppose there is one case id I have already given, and this is the endpoint, nothing but if you go here, this is the endpoint which I have done, public endpoint. Okay, so let me go here and fetch these case details. Okay, so I'm hitting this. Wow. Okay, expected. So just let me open. Okay, yeah, so I'm just same things like I'm fetching the case details with, let me send it. Okay, wow. Okay, this is the what happened during the demo. Okay, but never mind, let me just restart this. So MCP client is there. Let me stop this and let me start this. This is the starting. Okay, sorry. Meanwhile, since it is starting, if any questions, I can take it. Does MuleSoft AI chain connectors have Einstein trust layer when calling external LLM to mask P2? No, as of now, I haven't used it. Okay, because I'm not passing any like the sensitive informations, but it has the capability like you can enable it. Okay, or like you can mask it. Okay, so not necessarily as of now I'm sending this all this direct informations, but whenever you are going to implement in such a way, so it's better to use the vector database. Okay, you can create your own like knowledge base. Okay, where you can like take care entire these things, because once you are passing this entire informations over there. Okay, I think they said that okay because of this paid version they don't store any information, they delete, but I don't think we have any provision to check it. Okay, so that things I haven't taken care. Okay, can we create the MCP server in cloud in similar way? Yes, Raja, we can create in the Windsurf, Cursor, Cloudy, anyway similar way. How you are able to apply policy through API, proxy API or Flash gateway? How you are able to apply policies? So which policies? I haven't applied any. I have just used this basic authentications thing. But if you have any API and you want to apply, yeah, through this MuleSoft expose any point platforms, we are good to do that. Maybe I will do it and I will share a short video with you offline, but it is possible. Let me see. Yeah, so it's running. Let me hit this. Okay, so against this case ID, I am sending this. Let me see. Yeah. So since I have used this YAML versions to make it more, I think, readable. So if you see here, it is fetching the entire case details. Okay. So how this is going to happen? If you see, this hit the Mule MCP client. Okay. And this Mule MCP client hitting the MCP server. Okay. So this is against the fetch case we are going to get it. Okay. Think from fetch case details. Okay, like suppose passing the case numbers and I'm asking, okay, fetch case details against the case numbers. Let's see. Because here I have used the open API. Let's see how it is going to happen. So see, like so because of the readable, just I'm using the YAML, so just ignore it. Okay, so here it is the response. So it's giving, these are the case summary. Okay, it's giving case status priority blah blah. Okay, along with that I'm sending this informations, especially this descriptions. I'm not sending this entire because description is sufficient to get the suggested next action. Okay, so here I'm sending, so what is the, you can see the suggested action which is coming from the OpenAI. Okay, like investigate server error, communicate with the users, check system status, document finding, like this. So what is the benefit or the use case could be possible? Like suppose similar kind of thing, like suppose if any timeout issue is going to happen and this kind of, so you can able to store this thing somewhere into your vector database or anywhere, and some similar kind of, suppose the issue is coming, so without creating or registering the request, okay, you can check this suggested action against the description or subject and you can able to return these things. Okay, so it's not required like each and every time you are going to get the similar kind of things, okay, from the AI to get the resolutions. Okay, I will show you this benefit. Like suppose I have to create a case record. Okay, and these are some predefined value is coming, unable to access Salesforce external timesheet portal, timesheet based on 500. Okay, so suppose this kind of one case has been created. I'm sending this. Okay, why? For not found. Why? Okay, sorry. Create case record, this one, not the that one. Okay. Okay. So suppose if I'm sending this, so this is hitting my MCP client. Okay, and this is going to redirect to the MCP there. Okay, and here the C. Suppose a new case has been created with these details. Okay, and here only it is suggesting some issue like the this next actions. Okay, let me go into the Salesforce, see these cases. So 189 was there, correct? 189. So not recently view all open cases. So here you can see this has been created. Okay, so status is new. Okay, as soon as someone is going to look, okay, they can notice, okay, already some hints, some details are already there here. Okay, like reach out to this via email, phone, knowledge issue, inform this, investigation underway, like cancellation, like collaboration with technical team, monitor and update, follow up. So at least like those who are like the looking into this like analyst team or anyone, it has some like the ready-made ideas about, okay, like through, although this is not going to guarantee whether it is going to solve or not, but it will be have some directions through which they can start or they can expedite these kind of things. So it's putting over there, and this is coming from the OpenAI against this descriptions. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show. Through Mule also we can expose this MCP client. Okay, and we can able to generate this MCP like client and server. Okay, so hope we are good. Okay, and then we are going to our the uh, classic one, which is the agent. So Nitish, regarding this MCP client, any questions are there? I don't think any questions
No, not now.
not now. Okay, so just so what I did here. Okay, like suppose this has already MCP server is there, MCP client is there. Okay, fine. But nowadays we all know like this what do you say, the is agent. Okay, so what I did, okay, I created one of the specifications. Okay, we all
Yes,
know this
one
topic
thing is here,
centers or
Raj.
this what you can say, this uh, what is called topic center and API catalog, correct? So through this I have created one open API. Okay, and here you can see I have given this endpoint to fetch case details. Okay, and along with these parameters, okay, what I'm looking, so it is asking for the case number, you need to give the case numbers. Okay, this kind of the response will be there. Okay, this create case records. Okay, we can able to see this fetch case details. Okay, this is update case details. Okay, so what I did, I created one of the API, okay, which basically using the open API specifications, okay, and which is following the API catalog and topic centers, and I implemented each and every, okay, like for create case, get case details, okay, through our this what you can say, the MCP client. Okay, so one version we have seen this MCP client, which is our the traditional versions. This is the our enhanced version, which is compatible with our agent force, our agent. Okay, so this MCP client I have created similar way. Okay, and like suppose here it is creating the case. Okay, fetching the case details, agentified droplet. Okay, like lot many complexity we are to add it. Okay, so here this is the nothing but the replica of my MCP client whatever I have created. This is the similar way I have created there. Okay, and what I did, okay, we all know through our previous sessions or this. Okay, through this API catalog I have imported this. Oh, sorry, what happened? Yeah, so here you can see already this post create, post update. Okay, get, so these all four operations I have added. So I'm not going to take the deep dive into it because I think we everybody we are aware about this, how to create our topic centers or API catalog. So similar way I did it. Okay, similar way. Okay, only thing is that like at that time it was like not hitting the MCP server, but here what is happening, our this API implementations, which is the compatible with the agent force, okay, is calling through the MCP server. So this is fetching details by using the MCP client and calling MCP server. And once I have added here, okay, I have imported this. Okay, agent, hope we all know that. Okay, so from add from the asset library. Okay, once we add, this is our this customer case one, this one, customer case management that I have added. Okay, and we get to see this all these details here. Okay, update case status, fetch case. Okay, so let's see how here it is going to. Okay, so suppose if I'm giving hi, let me say this case ID. Okay, so hi, fetch case details where case ID is this. Let me see whether I have. Okay, so I think case ID has been not implemented. Let me, I think the case number is there. Hi, fetch a case details where case number is. Okay, so let me take the case number is. Yeah, one thing I forgot to tell you. Okay, so what I did here, if you see here, so that API which I have shown, okay, that I have deployed here, mule case agent force API. So that is the this API implementation I have deployed here. Okay, through which, let me see, fetch a case details where case number is this. Wow. Let me also restart this. Okay, and it's better to, okay, let me see whether ideally it should work. Okay, API catalog. Meanwhile, I'm checking whether it is showing the status one or not. Okay, so this is the 4.1. Okay, so updated a few seconds ago, that is fine. Okay. So it's starting. Just wait. Meanwhile, any questions I can take it.
Yeah, there are two questions.
Okay. After resolution, can we train the model, the resolution, so the next time the same issue can predict more accurately? Yes, yes. That is up to us. Definitely, we can be able to create our own knowledge base. Okay, and we can be able to train it, our LLM. Definitely. Can we perform MCP POC using a MuleSoft trial environment, or does it require? No, you can able to do it into the trial one. No issue. It support this trial one. Yeah, it's started. Okay, let me ask. Hi, fetch fetch a case record. Okay, so I'm asking. Okay, fetch a case record. So see what it is asking. Please provide the details of the case records. Okay, so it is asking. Okay, give me the case numbers. Okay, so here I am setting this case number set. Okay, so I am submitting it. So here is the detail request. So if you see here, you can able to see in the proper JSON format. Okay, because I haven't used here anything. So whatever, just to keep it for the sake to understand, it is coming from the MCP server. Okay, so if you see here, like any point, see. So this is the response which is coming, okay, in the JSON, and this is the same things which is going to display over here. Okay, if you say summarize this case details, so now you can be able to summarize. It is our the natural language one, but we can also able to like enhance our agent in a such a way to make it not the JSON as a the rich text. Okay, so directly it can be able to give into the this format or plain text. Okay, here it is also asking like highlight key point from this case. So this is giving. So this is the on the basis of this is the context information which is coming from the this agent. Okay, this is not like the I have created or some things. Okay, it is asking, okay, update the case status of this details. Okay, so like suppose if I'm saying, okay, so it is asking please provide the new status for this case. Okay, so it is asking this case ID. Okay, so let me give this case ID, whether it is case ID set and status I'm seeing working. See, it is submitted. So the case status has been successfully updated to the working. Let's check here. So see, this is going to update. And when the case, if you see this case, like whether like 12 minutes ago we have created here, now this case has been updated just now. Okay, so through agent force as well we can able to connect our MCP server, and we can able to like suppose like Salesforce has exposed their agent, okay, and they are dealing with, so we can able to ask them, okay, take our this MuleSoft MCP and you can do whatever you would like to. So these kind of things. Okay, so I think I have let me quickly see, like I don't think I am missing anything as part of the agenda. Okay, so almost I have covered this Salesforce API catalog and topic center, which is Agentforce MuleSoft MCP, correct? And this is the cursor LLM client Slack MCP server. Okay, you can also enhance like through, suppose the Salesforce has exposed their one use case, could it be also possible, like suppose MCP server is something else. Okay, Salesforce has expose their agent through the A2A connectors, okay, or agent A2A connector into the MuleSoft. You can able to connect with the agent, and this agent is going to connect with the MCP server. So we can create a long like AI chains, okay, through which. So now coming to this last presentation of this, like how do you feel like the this which I feel basically MCP is going to play a very changer. So what are the few points I have highlighted here, like the it is going to bridge gap between AI and API. Okay, because MCP turns your legacy, like your any API, okay, that AI can call. Okay, and almost it is going to reduce the manual integrations. Okay, we have seen like it is the universal protocol, means no separate additional adapters is required. Okay, just whatever we have created our API, we need to replace with the MCP connectors or define the schema, that's it. Okay, now AI for us, which is the we have seen the cursor is not going to be kind of the chatbot. Okay, now it is become like the lots of the AI operationals. We can see like earlier we are doing the only the kind of the Google search, okay, or generate the code, but it is going to do the lots of the things. Okay, the security, governance and visibility. Okay, so although I have very limited knowledge about how we can configure into the cursor, but definitely whenever our MCP server it is into the MuleSoft, we have the lot many policies, okay, security, governance we can be able to control. Okay, and what I feel that if we are dealing with the MCP server into the MuleSoft, MuleSoft is going to act as a gateway for the AI. Okay, because it is going to like control, like suppose in the Salesforce ecosystems. Okay, and like if any the like tools of the AI through which they can connect with the MuleSoft. Okay, and we can do the backend, which is the totally kind of the like black box for the AI one. Okay, also it is the also the accelerate the very fast development. Okay, because earlier we are going to define the raml, these kind of things, or suppose the CI/CD pipeline. Here you just write the efficient prompt, it is going to, so once suppose a prompt has been written or finalized, it is just a piece of the cake, just use it and just put, and in the backend it is going to happen. Okay, you can also enhance, like suppose whatever you have done, okay, agent, you can deploy your agent. Okay, into the Slack, okay, and you can use the Slack, which is going to connect with the agent. Agent is going to connect with the MCP server, and blah blah. Okay, so I think that's I took pretty much more times what was the estimated, but I think hope it was nice. Okay, feel free to see if there is any questions.
Yes, Pinaki, please ask. Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw like we just saw like there is a connectivity issue. What is the reason behind that actually? Like why it's not able to connect from Postman as well as like from the agent force as well?
The
Uh,
Postman, my this memory issue. I told now like whenever the cursor, if you are using locally, I have seen that it consume lot many memory. Almost it because my limitation of this is the 16 GB, so almost it kill. So the Postman is not working because of this locally. Okay, local issue. When I like restarted the phrase, it is starting working. And sometime I have also noticed like whenever this kind of the we have deployed the API this
but memory issue, Rajiv, like we restarted the application, right? But we did not, or we restarted the Postman as well.
yeah, Postman as well, Postman
Okay.
as well, yeah, Postman as well. So I restarted the Postman, okay, and here I don't think what was happened, okay, because I have seen multiple time, but my bad, I haven't explored what is happening, but most of the time I've seen that like while restarting this MCP server client or sometimes a mule case agent force, it solved the issue. Because one thing I noticed I was in the looking for, because sometimes happened it MCP internally, like I have seen that SSC1, okay, it is going to ping some things, okay, like to connect with the because see, how we are going to know that, okay, whether this MCP server is situated here or the SSC is here, okay. So internally sometimes of the heartbeat is going to happen, okay. I started looking to that but I lost, okay,
So
but maybe I will.
is that ACC is using for the local communication inside the same server? Is it a good way to SSC using SSC if you are using like a same app client and same server is in if it is in same isolation server? Is it a good way to the using the SSC?
SSC where if you have the like suppose asynchronous communication or pub sub model, you are good to use the SSC. Okay, but where you need the request response, I think HTTP is fine. But for async one, it is good to use the SSC. That part I am doing. Okay, I will come with more details. Okay, and maybe one more session I will like see to schedule it.
One more question. Actually, it's out of box.
Ah,
When I'm just using like a Agent Force, so Agent Force Playground is getting like a expired. Like if I'm not using like a
uh-huh,
2 3 days, is there
uh-huh.
any way to like I'm using like a my organization Agent Force? So is there any way to extend that the playground?
You can. Oh, playground, which means this Salesforce org.
Yes, yes, Salesforce
Trailhead.
Trial.
Oh, no, 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 you
So,
cannot see. I am using the developer version.
Okay.
Okay, so this is not the trial one. This is